9:30. We just do what we do. We do what we do now. We do what we do. All right. All right. Yes, we are back. We are back. It is currently 9:51 p.m. And of course, today's date is the 24th of July, 2025. Yes, of course, God is the greatest for sure. America is the greatest country on the face of the earth. Yes, we are absolutely back. It is your boy, Genesis, and you are welcome to the Genesis Show. And with that being said, of course, the OG, the 45th, now the 47th President of the United States, he visited Federal Reserve today. And all right, shout out to C. Shelley, shout out to Mr. Booski. God bless you for being here. All right. Uh it's gonna be a short one because I got the family here with me, so we're gonna have a good time real fast. And here we go.
You can see President Trump there as the wind blowing his tie over his shoulder as these constructions still just a few blocks away from the White House coming down the stairs. These are some precarious moments as walking down this scaffolding area. Jerome Powell potentially could be behind him there as well. Let's just watch and listen in here on Live Now from Fox to this moment.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. And it feels very good, actually, to be back on a construction site. You know, if you remember, not so long ago, we rebuilt the old post office into the Trump Hotel, and we sold it to Waldorf Astoria. And it was a great success, and we had great luck with the building. We did a good job. We built it quickly and relatively inexpensively for about $200 million. And that was a big hotel, big project. But we looked around, and Tim Scott's here someplace. Tim, come on up. You saw what we saw. And yes. The big thing is to get it done. They have to get it done. They have to get it finished. And very importantly, we have to get interest rates lowered in our country. Our country is the hottest in the world right now, but the one section, people are pretty much unable to buy housing.
Yes.
Because the interest rates are too high. We have no inflation. We have a lot of cash coming in. The tariffs have been unbelievable now. People that didn't even believe in tariffs are saying what a great move that was. We have hundreds of billions of dollars coming in. Japan, just on one deal, is paying us $550 billion. And they opened up their economy. It's incredible, the deal. And they're happy. We're happy. Everybody's happy. But we should have the lowest interest rate of any country, and we don't. We should have. Every point is worth $365 billion. So we want to get the rates down, but we also want to get the Fed building finished. So I met with the contractors. We toured it with the chairman, and we had a very good tour, and we'll talk to you about it sometime. But Tim and I, we sort of understand what happened.
Yeah. Too expensive. Bottom line is this, that Americans deserve to become first-time home buyers. President Trump has created the best economy in the world. The one thing that would make it better is lower interest rates. Full employment is even more possible. Wages rise faster as interest rates come down when your employment is at 4.1% because of your leadership. We have revenues coming in at record-breaking, maybe last month even more revenue coming in than bills going out, which is remarkable.
They found $26 billion. They said, where did that come from? Nobody, I think that's been many decades since that happened.
I can't remember that.
They found $26 billion last month, and they said, where did that come from? I said, why don't you try the tariff? Said it was true. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars, and our country's doing great, and we have no inflation, and the numbers, the job, everything is good. The one thing we have to do is get housing prices down and the interest rates down so people can buy the house, because they're all making money, but they can't get the interest rate down. We have to.
Amen.
All right. And he's been my friend for a long time.
You've been on a number of construction sites. Did you see mismanagement going on or funds that aren't?
Well, I see a very luxurious situation taking place. Let's put it that way. And I was given a very nice tour by the head of construction. And, look, if you look over here, they're trying to open up the basement. When you open up a basement, first of all, it's the worst space. Always a basement is the worst space in a building. And it's also the most expensive space to build. And especially here because you have a water line. They're going down into the water, so they have to build what's called a reverse bathtub. The water has to be kept out. It's very expensive construction. So it would have been good if they didn't build it. Would have been good if they didn't do certain other things. If you look at the kind of protection in the hall, have you been able to get in the hall? You saw the protection of plywood. I mean, that was a lot of money just to protect it for a period of time. I would have done it very gingerly and easily and not have to spend, millions of dollars on protection. And there are things that could have been different. Look, there's always Monday morning quarterbacks. I don't want to be that. I want to help them get it finished. It's been going on for years, and I want to help them get it finished. And what we really want to do, and I think I can speak for Tim, and I think I can speak for the entire Senate, we can speak for everybody, frankly, is we want to see interest rates come down. Our country is booming, and the interest rates is a final little notch. And if you look at Europe, they've lowered 11 times in a short period of time. We've lowered 0. And, they are competition, although we're in the process of probably making a very good deal with them, too. They want to make a deal very badly. So we're making a deal. We just completed our deal with Indonesia. We just completed our deal with the Philippines. We're making unbelievable deals, and the money is pouring in. We want to get interest rates down.
But on interest rates, at some point, does the level of interest rates now slow economic growth?
Yeah, it never helps it if it's high. Never helps it. Well, it's already as good as we're doing. Think of how well we'd be doing. We'd be like a rocket ship. As good as we're doing, we'd do better if we had lower interest rates. And we should. We're prime. Don't forget, without us, the whole world collapses. So we should have the lowest interest rate because, you can talk about Switzerland, you can talk about wonderful countries, no debt, but without us, everything collapses. We should have the lowest interest rate. And if you took it down 3 points, not a little bit, but 3 points, if you got us down to 1, we would save more than $1 trillion. You can talk about Switzerland, you can talk about wonderful countries, no debt, but without us, everything collapses. We should have the lowest interest rate. And if you took it down 3 points, not a little bit, but 3 points, if you got us down to 1, we would save more than $1 trillion, basically with just a paper transfer. You wouldn't be cutting costs of anything. You wouldn't be building anything. Just a move of the hand saying we're going to lower interest rates. You would save $1 trillion a year. And there's nothing you can do to save that kind of money. Well, we had a little talk about it, and I thought it was a very productive talk. He'll be able to tell you at his next meeting, but I will say that he did say the country is doing really well. And the country is really doing well.
Mr. President.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
How would you describe your talk with him? Did you say that the energy was tense? Did you come?
No, I didn't think it was tense. No, I thought we had a good meeting. No, there was no tension. There was no tension. I think he had more tension with my great senator to the right. He's a pretty tough cookie. He was... You might say,
bottom line is we had an honest, candid conversation about some of the overruns at this building. We had it in my banking committee, and he said we were wrong, and turns out we were right. Thank God President Trump and his team took enough time to dig into some of the details, and the details are clear. We need to get this project done. We would like to keep it where it is or a little lower, but at the end of the day, the point is that instead of talking about interest rates, instead of talking about first-time home buyers, instead of talking about the heat in our economy, that's a good thing. We're talking about an overrun on the Federal Reserve building as opposed to the Federal Reserve objective of lowering and keeping our economy full.
As an example, they built parking spots under a building next door.
Really expensive.
That's very expensive. When you're starting to build parking lots, underground parking lots, that's a very expensive thing. A lot of people I know, they park their car and they walk a block or 2 blocks or something. But it is a very expensive thing. But that is what it is, and that's okay.
Is this project a fireable offense?
What?
Is this project a fireable offense for Jerome Powell?
Look, I would love to see it completed. I don't want to put that in this category. It's a very complex thing that could have been made simple. I built a great hotel, and the great hotel that everybody in this group knows very well, it's called the Old Post Office, and it's a much bigger project than this, and I spent $200 million building it. And it was taken down to the steel, for the most part, taken down, you've seen it go up. And I built it quickly, and I built it for $200 million. It was a much bigger job than this. I spent $200 million, and it's got marble bathrooms, the top fixtures, the best of everything, all brand new. So, this is a very expensive job. I don't know. It got out of control. And that happens. It's a shame.
Are you negotiating on auto tariffs? Your auto tariffs...
No, I'm not negotiating on auto tariffs.
Does EU looking at 15% like Japan?
Well, it depends. What Japan did is they brought down their tariffs. They gave us $550 billion because they didn't want to pay 20. They were 28%. And they gave us $550 billion up front. 100%, 500. We get 90, they get 10. 90%, they get 10. And there's no payment. It's not a loan or anything. It's a signing bonus, I call it. But they gave us $550 billion and took down the tariffs a little bit. And then they agreed to open their economy to everybody. This was not easy. This took, a lot of people walked out of rooms and things. Sometimes they walked out of rooms, went back to Japan. Right. I said, where are they? They went back to Japan, and then they called and they said, can we make a deal? They came back a couple of times. This happened. This was, as you know, it was over a period of months, and ultimately they agreed to open their economy. Now, the opening of the economy is worth more than $550 billion, the payment that they made. It's worth more. So between that and the payment, we reduced it down to 15%, but they were at about 28%, and then they bought it down, basically.
But could other countries buy it down?
Yeah, I would let other countries buy it down, sure.
Mr. President, do you feel better or worse about your relationship with President Chairman after this meeting?
I feel good about it. I mean, look, I have one dispute, and the dispute is there could be some things with money and, where it comes from, how it's come from, how it's printed, where it's printed, all of the standard things with the Fed. But I just want to see one thing happen. Very simple. Interest rates have to come down. If the interest rates don't come down, we're knocking it out of the park with high interest rates. If interest rates come down, then that final little element kicks in. That's housing. And the sad part is that people, wonderful young people, young couples starting off, they can't get a mortgage because the rates are too high. Tim knows that better than anybody, I think.
But Mr. President, if the rates are hurting families in the country, why let that keep going for another 8 months? Why not just fire them?
Because to do that is a big move, and I just don't think it's necessary. And I believe that he's going to do the right thing. I believe that the chairman is going to do the right thing. I mean, it may be a little too late, as the expression goes, but I believe he's going to do the right thing. The fact is, it's so big what's taking place in America, where the king of Saudi Arabia says you have the hottest country anywhere in the world, and I thought you were dead 1 year ago. I thought we were dead. I just left NATO, as you know. They're agreeing to pay 5%. We're not paying anything. We send them the equipment. They pay for 100% of everything now for the war, Ukraine. But I just left NATO, and every one of those leaders said, every country, they said, and very smart countries, very successful countries, frankly, and every one of them said you have the hottest country in the world. We did that over a period of a year, less than a year. I mean, if you think, they say a year ago we were dead, and today, so I'm here 6 months, and we did it over, and we had the help of men like this and people like standing right behind me. They're great.
Matters.
They're great professionals. They really are. They're great professionals, and in a short period of time, we made it the hottest country in the world. With all of that being said, we'd like to see. We can always do better, and we can do better if interest rates come down. Right? Good job you do. You do a nice job. I watch you a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. President. Do you have a name in mind to replace the chairman?
I do.
Or you one person?
2 people. Maybe 3.
Any clues?
I'd pick him, but I think he's not leaving the Senate.
No, sir, I'm not.
I'd pick Tim. Thank you. No, there's no pressure. No.
Him is back there
We want to have,
supporting.
his term comes up soon. I think he's going to do the right thing. Everybody knows what the right thing is. Even people that believed in, the higher rates, they're all on board. They all want to see the interest rates come down. It's very important.
Mr. President, if he doesn't do the right thing and cut interest rates, as he said, will you then consider?
I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think so.
Investigate the newly declassified documents by Gabbard.
Yeah, that's a terrible thing. I have great respect for Tulsi and the documents they found on President Obama. Frankly, it was an Obama thing, but it was the people that worked under him also working with him. And no, it's a very, very serious thing. Thank you very much.
Shout out to team, man. All right, here we go. This is the news that has been going around the OG, the 45th, now the 47th, with the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell. This right here was just wild. He was certainly just showing them the exact overruns on the shit. I mean, who knows? Take a look at this.
That's good. Hold it.
Well, thank you very much. We're looking at the construction, and we're with the chairman, as you know. Chairman, come on over. And we're just taking a look at what's happening. You know, it's a tough construction job. They're building basements where they didn't exist or expanding them, and a lot of very expensive work. There's no question about it. And Tim has been with me for a long time, and
Yes,
you're
sir.
in charge of the committee.
Indeed, one of the reasons why I wanted to see it was the overruns of the expenses, wanted to figure out why.
Yeah. So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah,
Mr. President.
it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added.
Our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building is what that is. That's a third building,
Well,
including
no,
the
but
Martin building.
it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's
So,
not new.
So we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use, but no, we don't. Expect to be finished in 2027. We're well along, as you can see.
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
Mr. President, does the issue give you any?
As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire them.
Do you think this issue, Mr. President, gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just would like to see it get finished. And in many ways, it's too bad it started. But it did start. And it's been under construction for a long time. It's going to be a real long time, because it looks like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So,
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. But other than that, what can I tell you? The country is doing really well. I just briefed the chairman on the deal we made with Japan. Japan is putting up $550 billion in order to lower their tariffs a little bit. That way they have a little bit lower tariff. And they also opened their country to free trade, which nobody thought was even a possibility. And we get a zero tariff in the free trade. We don't pay tariffs, and they're going to pay 15% on everything they send into our country. So it's great. But they put up, as You could call it seed money. Let's call it seed money. You could call it anything you want, but it's It's a total of $550 billion. So nobody thought any of that was possible, and it's wonderful. And we're doing pretty well with the European Union, likewise, and we have some others. They're all really big, and our country's going to make a lot of money. We would be helped if interest rates would come down, but we're going to see how the board rules on that soon. I'd love to see them come down a lot, but we have a country that's thriving. We had a dead country 1 year ago. Today we have the hottest country anywhere in the world, and we'll get this one finished. Thank you.
Yeah, we need to run that back real fast. We need to run that back real fast. All right, here we go.
Well, thank you very
Was he
much.
sweating,
We're
man?
looking at the construction, and we're with the chairman, as you know. Chairman, come on over. And we're
was sweating.
just taking a look at what's happening. You know, it's a tough construction job. They're building basements where they didn't exist or expanding them, and a lot of very expensive work. There's no question about it. And Tim has been with me for a long time, and
Yes,
you're in
sir.
charge of the committee.
Indeed, one of the reasons why we wanted to see it was the overruns of the expenses. We wanted to figure out why.
So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah,
Mr. President.
it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just
That's
added.
our entire capital plan.
Yeah, you just added in a third building. Is what that is. That's a third building,
Well,
including
no,
the
but
Martin building.
it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's
So,
not new.
So we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them. But we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use. But no, we don't. Expect to be finished in 2027. We're well along, as you can see.
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
Mr. President, does the issue give you any?
As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire them.
Do you think this issue, Mr. President, gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just would like to see it get finished. And in many ways, it's too bad it started. But it did start. And it's been under construction for a long time. It's going to be a real long time, because it looks like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So,
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. But other than that, what can I tell you? The country's doing really well. I just briefed the chairman on the deal we made with Japan. Japan is putting up $550 billion in order to lower their tariffs a little bit. That way they have a little bit lower tariff. And they also opened their country to free trade, which nobody thought was even a possibility. And we get a zero tariff in the free trade. We don't pay tariffs, and they're going to pay 15% on everything they send into our country. So it's great. But they put up, as you could call it, seed money. Let's call it seed money. You could call it anything you want, but it's a total of $550 billion. So nobody thought any of that was possible, and it's wonderful. And we're doing pretty well with the European Union, likewise. And we have some others. They're all really big, and our country's going to make a lot of money. We would be helped if interest rates would come down, but we're going to see how the board rules on that soon. I'd love to see them come down a lot. But we have a country that's thriving. We had a dead country 1 year ago. Today we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And we'll get this one finished.
Mr. President,
Thank you.
All right, just listening in there to President Trump.
Shout out to the OG. All right.
It feels very good, actually, to be back on a construction site.
President Trump rocking the hard hat while hitting up the Federal Reserve as he tries to keep the momentum going on his winning streak of smoking hot new trade deals and the stock market in record territory. 47 doing a little home inspection of the Fed's $2.5 billion renovation. The president, not a fan of the price tag, squabbling with Powell over the sky-high cost, as well as those stubborn interest rates that Powell refuses to lower.
So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out. I don't know who does that.
He said he didn't hear it from anybody from the Fed.
You're including the
So
market
what is your
renovation.
job? You are the chairman of the Federal
You just
Reserve.
added in a third building is what that is. That's a third building.
Well,
including
no,
the
but
market building.
it's a building that's being built. Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger.
As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire them.
Are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
Well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. But other than that,
I hadn't heard that. Okay, as President Trump shakes up the Fed, he's also shaking up a major league Ivy League school. 47 reaching a deal with Columbia University, getting them to pay a penalty of $200 million to the U.S. government for violating federal law. Now, in exchange, the university is going to get their paused federal grants back on track. All right. I love the hard hat visit. I would like to know what he charges for his appraisal services. But Kellyanne, I got to tell you, this seemed classic Donald Trump, that visit on site there.
It was. You know, in 2015, he gave a speech here in New York where he talked about the old Commodore Hotel and what he did with it near Grand Central Station, and how he bought it. Nobody else wanted it, and how he revitalized it. And it just reminded Americans why they wanted an outsider, a builder, an outsider to the political system, but somebody who had been successful. They can literally see the fruits of his labor. At the time, I think there were 17 buildings just in the city with his name on it. But this is classic Trump in a couple of ways. The media has been covering the wrong story. Will he fire Powell? Will he not? Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, said Powell will leave in May when he's supposed to. I know firsthand, the worst thing Donald Trump can do to you is not fire you. The worst thing he could do to you is keep you on the job and make you irrelevant. And that's what I think is going on here. Actually, Jay Powell just had his Michael Dukakis moment, keeping that hard hat on just a little too long. But seriously speaking, why is this important? Because it's our money. This isn't Donald Trump or any other builder, Shannon, building a hotel, building a condo building that then you can choose as an individual to buy or to have a room in the hotel or not. This is our money. And this is a place that lost $100 billion already. So the idea that you would have, as President Trump has said, the Taj Mahal in the mall, is odious to a lot of Americans who are doing what they can to dig out of the 4-year inflation we had under Biden.
Yeah, Jesse, especially for people who say this is the guy who's supposed to be managing the nation's pocketbook. And yet these buildings are way over where they were supposed to be.
It's like when your wife goes shopping and you come home unexpectedly and you see piles and piles of bags in the bedroom. Oh, honey, what do we have here? You're going to return it, right? It's all getting returned, right? He owned Powell today. And you're right. Now this guy is just going to dangle out for the rest of the months that he has to serve there. He's doing the same thing with the colleges. So we give colleges billions of dollars every year. For the first time, he grabs a wad of cash in front of the country and said, before I give you this money, there's a few things I'd like to do. Are you listening? All right. I want you to be nicer to Jews. And I want you to drop DEI, and I want you to get the men out of the women's locker rooms. Can you do that for me? Can you do that for me? And so all of a sudden, all of the lawyers got real tough for the colleges and said, no, we're going to fight. And then they just billed for about 2 months. Bill, got paid. And then they settled. And they settled for what? I think we give Columbia $1.3 billion a year. They have to have that money. And he's doing it with other countries, too. We're paying them. They're making money here. He shuts the door with the tariffs just a little bit and said, hey, by the way, we'd like to sell you about $8 billion of rice. They love rice in Japan. We'd like to get trucks and cars in Japan. Can you do that for us? Yeah, you can. And you're going to get hit with the 10, 15% tariffs. And you're going to buy 100 Boeing jets. Can you do that Thank you. And he's doing that with every country. It's amazing what you can do when you delay payment. And I've started to do that with Jesse Jr. He gets a $5 allowance weekly, and he's got chores. So yesterday I said, and I dangled it, because once they see it, they get really motivated. I say, you, as a part of your chores now, you are going to polish the silver. And he said, I don't know how to polish silver. I said, well, you're going to learn. And what do you know? The guy has the silver polish, the rag, and he's working the candelabra over in the dining room. That's how you get things done.
Jessica, he's living a different life than we are.
Jesse?
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
the kids are polishing the
His
candelabra.
marriage is from 1950, and the toddler story is completely made up.
The candelabra. But Jessica, I want to ask you, which of the things on President Trump's victory list would you like to tackle first? Because we do have the nets on the tariffs. We do have the great numbers on the border. Not only that they're down, but also the poll numbers show that people are very happy with him about border security. He's got the head of NATO calling him daddy and praising him for getting the spending up with all of those nations.
Daddy.
We want you to pick.
It'll be zaddy soon, I'm sure. On the trade front with the Japan deal, the headline I was paying attention to was that the United Auto Workers and the Big Three opposed the Japan trade deal. And I went through and I collected some recent headlines just to give a tasting of what the golden age actually means on the ground. General Motors' profit shrank 35% last quarter. President Trump's tariffs are costing Jeep maker Stellantis hundreds of millions of dollars. The cost of beef is at its highest level since the 1980s. And from today, independents drive Trump's approval to 37%, a second-term low. So the only president to beat him is himself from the first term. Border security, sure, he still has a positive approval rating on that, but not on immigration as a whole, because lo and behold, people don't want grandmas and people who've been here for decades rounded up. They don't want people sent to CCOT. He's lost 40 points with Gen Zs. So there goes that narrative that suddenly young people are conservatives. Independents approval down to 27%. But the cherry on top, I think, is that 70% say that Trump hasn't done enough to lower prices. And that is the reason that he won this election. It was an election about the economy where people had said, inflation is too high. I go to the grocery store and I see what's going on. And I was obviously on this panel throughout the election. And you guys said to me repeatedly, stop telling people what their real life looks like. Stop telling people what their real life looks like applies right now. They are saying that Donald Trump is too focused on his hard hat mission or his crypto, whatever, and get the prices down.
Well, I will say that the polling also shows people do think things are moving in the right direction. At least the numbers in our Fox News polling shows that their personal situation they perceive as being improving. But you got a laundry list.
She's right. He hasn't done enough to lower prices. Compared to whom? This is, when I hear about Trump's polls, it reminds me of an old saying. When I'm being chased by a hungry panelist from The View, I don't have to outrun her. I just have to outrun you. So when they bring up these polls, they're meaningless without a comparison. So who are they comparing it to? Not to Trump, but to the alternative. Every poll says the same thing. If the election were held today, he would still clobber the Democrats. Some ways, even more. It is true. And by the way, you can keep saying he's rounding up grandma, but those have been hoaxes. And every time you bring up that thing, it implodes, and then we have to clean up the mess. It's easy to avoid a drop in polls, Jessica. Just don't do the stuff that upsets the media. Trump won't do that. Trump leans right into the things that he promised. So people can be critical, but at the same time, they go, no, I voted for him. You can call this a hot streak, but that requires luck. This isn't luck. He set this stuff up in advance. You know, he's posting a win every day, the same way a gardener plants 100 flowers so they bloom one after the other. And the Democrats are like going, how did this happen? How did this? Oh, wait, he has a new thing. He has a new thing. That's what's called preparation. The Democrats don't understand this. The Democrats think success is taking your money and throwing it there and then patting themselves on the back. He's actually making stuff happen, right? You know what's amazing about all this stuff? The stuff we miss. Olympics will not allow trans athletes to participate. Do you think that they would have had the stones to do that if Kamala Harris was president? No, we'd have trans tax cuts right now. Now, because of Trump, we have 3 prominent medical centers in California who are no longer doing trans surgeries on kids. And why? Because Trump stood up and he shared the risk, and he spoke truth to power to the deranged activists that had intimidated the Democrats for so long. Lastly, today, an executive order to remove vagrants, homeless and drug addicts from the streets of America and to place the mentally ill and the criminally deranged into treatment centers. The reason why I bring this up is because it's amazing for people who live in the city. There are going to be a lot of liberals who are going to say how terrible Trump is. But when they're on the subway, they're going to be thanking God for him. Just the way they do when they talk about illegal immigration and then they drive home and they see that it's much cleaner and much better. They're going to pretend that he's so intolerant and how mean this is. But you're not going to stop this because you need this. You need this. These are just, and look at AI yesterday. AI, he understands we have to be there first. If we're not, it's over. You know who was the AI czar before him? Kamala Harris.
I know.
She didn't even know what AI stood for.
She is AI.
Call him daddy, Jessica.
Call
him daddy.
I'm gonna miss the guy out
I
front.
didn't even
though, who
talk
said
about Colombia.
No, call Greg daddy.
No, thank you.
I'm so tired of that.
She's gonna take a pass on that.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man just keeps on winning, man. That's all I can tell y'all. This man keeps on winning. All right. Of course, we know Hulk Hogan. I was about to say Hulkamania, but Hulk Hogan has passed away at 71 years old. He was a big fan of the president for sure. But life is short, ladies and gentlemen. Life is short. So be grateful that you are here, that you're alive, and that you have some air in your lungs, and that you're not in the hospital. I always say that every single time. You're alive, you're strong. Be grateful to God. All right, here we go.
This morning, the country received the devastating news that Terry Bollea, better known as Hulk Hogan, died at the age of 71 at his home in Clearwater, Florida. Medics were dispatched into the scene, and he was carried out on a stretcher and into an ambulance. Officials say the wrestling legend died of cardiac arrest. May he rest in peace. Hulk Hogan wasn't just a wrestler. He was a household name. When you said Hulk, people knew who you were talking about. When you said Hogan, same thing. To most, he was larger than life, figuratively and literally. Billed as a 6.
Look at that! Oh, boy, fly high above! Heavyweight champion, Hulk Hogan! On this Memorial Day weekend celebration, the Hulkster will all fly high in the spirit of all of those whom he has dedicated this match to.
From there, Hogamania took the world by storm. Before Hogan, wrestling was seen as a kind of a gnarly sport, but soon it became mainstream. Arenas were getting sold out and pay-per-views were bringing in millions. Everybody wanted to watch the Hulk body slam a giant. The embodiment of the ultimate good guy, not just because he was picking up 7'4" giants, but because he was the pinnacle of patriotism. As the country was in the middle of a Cold War with the Soviets, the Hulk came in and kicked him out of his ring.
I can't stand to see our enemy's flag in the ring. That's why I'm carrying the red, white, and blue, brother. I'm proud of America. I stand for this country. And I'm going to promise you one thing. When this fight is over tonight, there's only going to be one flag standing. That's the Stars and Stripes forever. What a sensational victory for the World Wrestling Federation champion.
Around the time of the Iranian hostage crisis, Hogan made a new enemy in the ring, an Iranian named the Iron Sheik.
This contest is for the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship. The World Heavyweight Champion, Hulk Hogan.
Uh-oh, what in the world is going on right there?
Reagan, with a little help from Hulk, ended the hostage crisis. But Hogan didn't just deliver in the ring. He was a menace behind the mic and a master promoter.
The As Donald Trump hangs on to the top of the Trump Plaza with his family under his other arm as they sink to the bottom of the sea. Thank God Donald Trump's a Hulkamaniac. He'll know enough to let go of his materialistic possessions, hang on to the wife and kids, dog paddle with his life all the way to safety.
Hogan became the hottest thing. He was even going on late night.
Do you know anything about Hulkamania?
Hulkamania?
Hulkamania.
If you want me to. What is Hulkamania?
Well, Hulkamania is the newest thing, Johnny. It's the thing that is sweeping the country. It's like a new cult. And it's like follow the leader. Everybody does what the Hulkster does. It's like truth, justice, and the Hulk Hogan way.
Right. I'm looking at the size of your arms. I don't believe this. I wish I had anything that big.
Hulk went from the ring to the small screen and to the big screen. And here came Thunder Lips.
Listen, after the match, how about if we get a Polaroid together, okay?
You're in trouble, man. I can believe the superhuman strength of Thunder Lips. I'm the man. Stop it, Lee! You want this punching bag? Adrian! Rocky! Catch me!
Wasn't even supposed to be in Rocky III. His bosses told him don't, and he did it anyway. And it brightened his star power in Hollywood. Soon he was doing it all.
Tough is a 300-pound man in tights.
Keep the back straight. Make the arms a bow.
Ah, the ballet. It enhances grace. I'm a changed man.
Hey! Put me down, you klutz!
I'm not a klutz anymore, Bertinsky. Oh!
He's not as far along as I thought.
With the WWF rocked by a steroid scandal, Hulk went full Hollywood. He was even doing commercials because Hogan could sell anything, especially deodorant.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful.
Shout out to Hulkamania, but there's this last one that he did at the RNC. Let me see if it's here.
To the death. Quote, "We lost a great friend today, the Hulkster. Hulk Hogan was MAGA all the way. Strong, tough, smart, but with the biggest heart. He gave an absolutely electric speech at the Republican National Convention. He entertained fans from all over the world, and the cultural impact he had was massive. To his wife, Sky, and family, we give our warmest, best wishes and love. Hulk Hogan will be greatly missed." Hogan wasn't just a friend of the president's, he was a friend of prime times.
What you gonna do when Hulk Hogan, Jesse Waters, Donald Trump, and all of America run wild on you?
Love you, Hulk, man. Hulk Hogan's life represents a time when men were men and the country wasn't scared of anything. If Hogan could body slam a 500-pound giant in the ring, anything was possible for you and for the United States. He demonstrated that with raw talent, grit, and charisma, you could live the American dream. With Hulk, attitude was everything. He performed at his best in the biggest moments, but nothing was bigger than his heart. Hulk may be gone, but that raw power, electric personality, and unbreakable spirit is going to live on in American culture forever. He's touched generations.
Bro knows, brother.
Well, let me tell you.
No, let me tell you something, brother. When you walk in this beat shop, I'm surprised that you still got the shirt on, Jack.
Well, let me tell you something. Hulkster, the first time I met you, I was only 3 years old. Right now I'm 6 years old. So now we gotta take it to a bigger level, man. So what are they gonna do when the power of the Hulkster and the roaster and the dual 24-inch pythons run wild on you?
Whoa!
18 months ago, Hogan was baptized. And of course, he wore his iconic bandana. The Hulkster says that moment blessed his life.
Once you're a Christian, you've accepted Christ as your Savior. You know, you're not going to perish, but you're going to have everlasting life. That belief in itself and that faith is what's pretty much the only thing that's real to me.
Hogan may have left us, but Hulkamania is always going to be running wild.
Wow, that was something at the end, talking about his faith. And really, at the end of life, that's what you think about your faith. Where are you going to go? Because everybody's just, living life. But when, you're getting up there, the only thing that you think about is who am I? What am I? Where am I going? Because when you're young, you just live in life. You never really think about anything. You're just going for your dreams. You're going to go, whatever you do. But when you get older, you start thinking like Hulkamania right there, like the things that really matters in life, family, faith. And yeah, with that being said, instead of looking for perfection, seek for consistency. Never give up on yourself, never give up on your dreams, never give up on God. Believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, and believe in Almighty God. And with that being said, it is your boy Genesis. And yes, I told y'all this was going to be quick. It has been, I guess, 48 minutes. And yeah, got to take my daughter to tennis class in the morning, and I got the family here. So your boy Genesis would be getting some well-deserved rest tonight. And then we will be back tomorrow for more, okay? We will be back tomorrow for more. We got a full house right here. We got G-Ma, we got Grandma, we got everybody, okay? So, yeah, you guys have a good time. Shout out to our esteemed members, Dr. Luke, the GOAT. Shout out to Ellie. Shout out to Ingraham. Shout out to Sandra. Shout out to Ringmaster. Shout out to our moderators, the amazing C. Shelley. God bless you. Shout out to Terry Vinings, the Bama girl. God bless you. Shout out to Busky, the Bucket Master. I think I saw Enders earlier on today. God bless you, Enders. Shout out to 23B Rad. God bless you. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna be back tomorrow. And yeah, be safe. Don't forget, life is short. Live your life. Go outside, meet new people, shake hands, introduce yourself. It's okay. All right, it's okay. And before I go, I got to give a shout out to the veterans. Shout out to the military personnel. Without you guys, there will be no homeland. Shout out to law enforcement. Shout out to Ice Baby. What else? Shout out to the fathers. God bless you. Of course, I know you gotta, put in the work, extra hours to take care of your kids, but spend some time with your kids. It is absolutely important to them. I promise you, it is important to spend time with your kids. And of course, I know the mothers have been doing, the glorious work for years and for decades. So shout out to the queens for sure. What else? Also, life is hard, like everybody knows. Life is hard, but do not give up. Do not throw in the towel, okay? God is with you. That's all I can tell you. God is with you. And be kind, okay? Be kind. You never know what somebody is going through, all right? Be kind. And if you are here and you're listening to my voice, just know you are among the lucky ones who can hear, breathe, and you're alive, okay? So live your life. No regrets, okay? Live your lives, all right? All right, see you guys soon. It is your boy Genesis, and you are currently tuned into the Genesis Show. All right, I'll be back. See you guys tomorrow.